Hello folks, as promised, I am going to walk you through Module 2. Um, Module 2, discussing your topic and conducting preliminary research. In the past, uh, the research element of this paper wasn't emphasized during week 1, but we found that it can cause students to feel rushed, that they don't have enough time to do the research that they want to do. And so the course was reconstructed to put a bit more of the emphasis on research from the get-go. So Module 2 is still called what it's called, but all of you have obviously undertaken preliminary research. So it says in this module, you'll begin constructing an argument for your persuasive essay by taking writing notes. You will also develop a list of keywords to help you research your subject matter and use them to search for potential sources to support your argument. So essentially, it's just saying that you're really starting the writing process with this paper in earnest now. The journal was kind of a pre-write, and so now getting into keywords and writing notes, you're really diving into the paper itself. Well, my computer is thinking. Okay, good. Reading, preparing for assignment 1, milestone 1. So there's a reading here that's going to give you a, it's going to set the stage for assignment 1, milestone 1. It talks about deciding on a topic, refining the topic, what topics to be worried about. It is a very helpful reading. I highly recommend that you read every module, but certainly that section. And then selecting a topic based on your field of study, career, and knowledge. I already told you guys that I understand for some fields in particular that it's not always easy to find a topic that's going to connect like seamlessly. So if the connections are a little bit looser, that is okay. As long as there is a connection and you can articulate that connection, that's all that really matters. Adaptive learning. The following adaptive learning segment is an optional and ungraded enrichment activity. So you can choose to do this, not do this. As with the readings, I find the enrichment activities to be quite helpful, and they usually don't take much time at all. I mean, this one is true false, so I think that it'll take you probably 5 to 10 minutes, and it will allow you to see where you stand without any repercussions as far as your grade goes. So I recommend doing it. And you'll get that message that you just saw pop up if you go to move on without having done an assignment like that, graded or not graded. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to move on? Assignment, writing notes, graded. So this really is an important assignment because it is the foundation for the rough draft and the final draft of your paper. A lot of what you are asked to do with the writing notes directly translates to your paper. So you guys did a fantastic job with the journal for Module 1. And so if you keep up that level of effort, that level of unpacking your ideas, I think you'll do very well on the writing notes. It provides a little double check here to make sure that your chosen issue will work for the persuasive essay. Does it have 2 clear and arguable sides? Is the issue researchable? Some of you did voice concerns that you were not finding a lot when it came to research for one of your 2 topics, and I think that it is wise to go with the topic that you're confident you can find that research for. And then is the issue related to your career degree? We've talked about that. Constructing your writing notes. The questions below will ask you to consider how the following critical elements relate to your issue. argument, key points, audience, goal, potential resources, evidence. Key points, you'll notice if you hover over any of these, it gives a little definition. Key points is critical because key points, they're going to become your topic sentences for your essay. And topic sentences are crucial in order to have focused body paragraphs. So this process will allow you to develop a plan for persuading readers to agree with your argument. And so you see here, it dubs it a plan. It's going to lay the framework for your paper. But don't let that fool you. It isn't just an assignment that's going to let you plan. It literally will be putting the foundation blocks in place for your paper. So as you're working your writing notes, remember to refer to the assignment guidelines and rubric. That is always a good idea for any assignment for which there is a guidelines and rubric, which is most assignments. That's exactly how I assess the assignment. So really make sure you're familiar with what you're being asked to do, task definition, and then how the task is being assessed. So overview, persuasion is a constant in our lives, no matter no matter where we look, what we read, what we see, or who we interact with. That should be with whom we interact. Anyways, persuasion is critical. This is trying to get you to buy into, hey, this paper isn't just making you jump through a hoop. This is a skill that we need in the 21st century, and we've needed it in every century. And then it provides the prompt. It details the writing plan, what you should put in the argument, the key points, the audience, goal, resources, supporting resources, evidence. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but you can read through here. These are the different sections that you're going to have to develop for the writing plan. So be familiar with them. Be comfortable with them, and if at all possible, scan through these before coming to class, just so you can ask me a question if reading these something isn't clear. Like I said, we're gonna look at them in class, so it's not a huge deal if you can't, but ideally if you could, that'd be great. Guidelines for submission. So right here, and for all of the larger assignments, it tells you exactly what you need to do for formatting. So make sure you follow this, because these are, you don't want to lose these points. These are easy points. And there's a rubric down here, and it tells you again exactly how I'm going to assess it. I'm going to look for the elements underneath each. So if I'm looking at writing plan audience, the student identifies audience and determines potential challenges. If you do that, that's the column you're going to get. That's exemplary. The middle column identifies audience but does not determine potential challenges. If you identify the audience, don't really talk about potential challenges whatsoever, well, that's where you're going to land. And then if you don't even bother to identify audience, well, you're going to land in that third column. So they really do try to make the rubrics really student-friendly as far as readability goes. So please do read through those so that way you set yourself up for success. All right. Voice and reading keywords. Keywords are the terms that are relevant to your topic. You guys have I'm pretty confident that you have worked with keywords, whether it was in high school or another college course, maybe even in middle school. Keywords are the words you put in to get results. And so this talks about how Google will look at your keywords, for example, and it gives you some pointers on ideal ways to kind of go about formulating your keywords, typing them in, stuff like that. So there's selecting effective keywords, adaptive learning, there's an ungraded activity, and again, this will take you 5, maybe 10 minutes, and I recommend doing it because it will be a nice little barometer for where you are at. And again, I didn't fill it in, so it's asking me, do I really want to leave the page? Yes, please. All right, activity, creating keywords, graded. So this activity will be graded based upon completion, which means it's not something that will go to me and I will look at with a rubric. This is something that you complete. The system looks and sees, yep, they completed everything, and it's that sort of assignment. So it talks about mind mapping. There's different ways to mind map. Here's a web, sample mind web. And then after you've drawn out your mind map, make a list of your main topics, subtopics, supporting evidence in the text below. And then you hit submit. Again, it's a completion activity. At least in the past, it isn't something that's gone to me. If you want me to look at that closely, just let me know, text me, email me, call me. I'm happy to do so. If you feel pretty confident about it, then there's no need. But I am, again, happy to do so. Reading library databases. We've talked a little bit about opposing viewpoints. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about other databases. But if you read through here, it gives you some additional options as far as what you might want to do for your research if you aren't finding everything you want in opposing viewpoints. All right, and then there's a graded activity. This is the final graded activity for Module 2. It's called Opposing Viewpoints. This activity will be graded based, again, upon completion. Let's use the keywords you brainstormed earlier in the module to conduct 3 separate searches. So I really like this assignment because it takes what it asked you to do earlier, which could, if just left by itself, it would kind of go poof in the air and it wouldn't really bear any fruit. In applying that in this assignment, it allows you to see the fruits of that work, whether it's a bountiful, lush fruit, or if it's a more measly harvest. And again, it's a completion grade, so the stakes are low on 2 of the 3 assignments here. Just if you do them and you do them completely, you'll do just fine. The one that I'm going to be assessing, your writing notes, that will be, I'll read through it, I'll give you feedback, I will let you know where you fall in the rubric and why you fell where you fell. All right, I will see you folks tomorrow. Have a great evening.